such a happy little song.
It's just quick. It's there.
It's quick. It gets your attention. It wakes you up, maybe. Lets you know that it's time once again for Cinemaniacs, the movie review show for movies.
That's what you could call it.
Yeah, something like that.
We're on the EriDan channels of YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
Yeah,
that's where we're located.
We're on all the cool platforms.
Yes,
and
each and every week we talk about a movie or two.
Yep.
And we discuss it, and then we bring in our panel of misfits and degenerates.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ellen degenerates, and we all talk about it, and then we pick something or we announce something for next week. I grabbed the double feature, and I have two movies in there.
I was so ready.
Well, I beat you to it.
I wasn't ready because none of the movies that I wanted were streaming anywhere convenient.
Well, mine aren't streaming anywhere. Nothing's convenient for most people. But I picked ones that are on
I could have been difficult.
Multiple rentals, or there are ways to find them. And I also have an idea for something in the future I want to talk about in a little bit.
So next week could potentially cost people $8 to participate.
Potentially, unless they have the DVD. These are both movies that I
wanted to make it so everything was free on YouTube.
Well, that was turned down at the board meeting, so
I
decided
that was shot down. But I'm just saying.
But I would go with the fact that both of these movies are most likely available at your local library or Goodwill. I mean, they're very common. One's from 2014, one's from 1993, and I will talk about it after we talk about this week's movie.
I think you're probably right about that, except, wait, I want to stop.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. Never mind. I thought we did one of your movies already, but I'm wrong. So
I thought we did too.
The wrong sleeping movie. So yes. There we go. All right, there's our teaser. So this week, we're talking about the 2014, I believe.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. Movie that I didn't even know existed before last week. No, I think I knew that it existed.
I had heard of it, never saw it.
Well, let's bring in Dave because Dave chose the movie. There's Dave. Hello, Dave.
Howdy.
Oh, there we go. Dave.
Big Dave.
Hey, giant Dave.
There he is.
Extreme close-up. Oh!
So, Dave, you chose What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, indeed, I did.
For our Halloween-themed episode, Spooky. And why did you choose this?
You sound like you're judging me already.
Oh, no.
Judging.
That's just my tone.
Well, I don't remember exactly. It may have been because it came up when I was looking up something from Taika Waititi. That'd be my guess, because we'd watched Jojo Rabbit, and we'd seen, and so it came up, and I thought about it, and I watched it during the heart of the pandemic. In fact, I can probably say when I watched it. What was that?
June 20.
I probably watched this about a little over 2 years ago, August of 2022.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it. And I didn't remember, actually, that I had then watched at least a couple episodes of the TV series, because I was because I had only seen it the one time, and I was thinking that the energy vampire was in this. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. Oh, okay. So let's watch the first episode of the series. Oh, there he is. So I clearly watched at least one or two episodes of the series shortly after I watched this.
Nice. I have not watched the series at all. My wife is a huge fan of the series, though.
Did she watch this with you?
Yes, she did. She was very excited to watch this. And she enjoyed this quite a lot. We both enjoyed this a lot.
I'm glad to hear it.
This is fun. This is not a thinker's movie, but this is...
No. I will go along with that. I mean, most mockumentaries aren't.
Well, and especially, when you get Jermaine Clemens and Taika Waititi together, who both directed this movie, right?
And Rhys Darby, too, as one of the werewolves.
Right, exactly, right? So, I mean, totally enjoyable. I was shocked that I enjoyed Taika Waititi was my least favorite part of this movie.
Ah, interesting.
He was good, but I felt like it felt a lot like his Hitler.
Well, I also was impressed when I looked more information about his name's David Cohen. It's like
Really?
David
His birth
Cohen.
name?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I can see why he went with his dad's instead of his mom's name that he was going by. He went with his dad's name. But that's
I mean, I just really enjoyed it. And what I had not remembered, I think I must have read this at some point because it came back to me vaguely. There were actually 2 spin-off series from this.
Yes, I did read that.
Because there's Wellington Paranormal, which I actually watched the first episode of just to get an idea of what it was like. And it's just those 2 cops and some of their co-workers, but mainly those 2 cops that were on the movie who sort of get drafted into a paranormal investigation unit in their police department.
Oh, geez.
But they're about as clueless as they are in the movie. They're like, they come up on this girl who's spewing massive amounts of caustic vomit. Oh, did something disagree with you then? And they're just like, well, that's a lot to come out of such a small girl. It's just really nothing phases them. It's just
to be fair, in the movie they were hypnotized.
Yes, they were.
All right, let's bring in the crew. Let's bring in Brian, Amanda, and Scott. All here.
I need to hear Dave with an Irish accent more often.
What do we do in the Highlands? Yes.
Wow.
Perfect. Oh man.
it was a fun movie.
It really is a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. I don't know. Was this anybody's? This was my first time.
Mine? Yeah, me too.
This is my first time.
Yeah, mine too.
There you go. You exposed everybody to the wild world of what we do in the shadows.
It is interesting because there really has become to be a very distinctive vein of comedy. In the same way that back in the 60s and 70s there was a very British comedy sensibility that grew out of, the Peter Sellers and the
Monty Python.
Spike Mulligan and Monty Python then following that up. New Zealand has a very distinct feel to their comedy, with Flight of the Conchords and Taika Waititi and Rise Darby, with Our Flag Means Death. And just, it's got a very wry, I enjoy it a lot, that type of humor.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of Flight of the Conchords. They're
Same, yeah.
amazing, right? And honestly, anything that Jermaine is in is typically pretty good, from Moana to this.
The Muppets.
Absolutely.
They care so much about how everything looks. Like, I've never seen a New Zealand movie that looked lazy. Like, they got their lighting down, they got their color down, they got their mise en scène down, Brian. They got a lot of
their special effects. I was like, wow, they actually tried. Okay.
yeah. Once you've made something with Peter Jackson, you're just like, there's the bar.
So many great little jokes. Like, I just love the idea that since they can't see themselves in mirrors, they don't know what they look like. So they're trying to enlist each other's help, trying to decide, does this look good?
They draw pictures for each other of what they're wearing. I thought that was pretty good.
Every scene has a joke. It's perfect.
I love it.
Yeah. It's a darn shame that this came out right after the New Zealand film industry tanked because of what Warner Brothers did with the Hobbit movies.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Good thing that this turned into a TV show and continued for 6 more seasons.
Well, this actually, what I read was this did not do well on release in New Zealand. So actually the American distribution deal was canceled. But then after it, I think it exhibited at Cannes and got a huge reaction there. It started to become pirated massively. That's when they decided to actually follow up on a U.S.
successful among the thieves.
It's a big habit for horror movies in New Zealand. Babadook had something similar happen in Australia too. Like, it did not do well when it first came out, and then they went to Sundance, and there's a huge amount of buzz, and then it won a bunch of awards for the 4th annual Australian Awards. So, yeah, it seems like if you become a big deal in America, that everyone's like, "Oh wait, no, we want that." So, that's the way it worked.
And I love Stu. I did love Stu.
Everybody loves Stu. Oh man. The one part that just really got me laughing was after he after he ate the potato. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Poor
my
Nick.
God. He just started vomiting, and it was amazing. I loved it.
And he just got so upset because the chips were his favorite food. Now he can't eat his favorite food.
Being a vampire is not as cool as man.
And I love the sort of, almost West Side Story-esque confrontation with the werewolves.
100%.
Oh man.
No, we're werewolves, not swearwolves.
That was one of my favorite lines. Is
One of the best lines in this for sure.
I like
Well,
the
they have been planning for a lot of years now to do a sequel called Werewolves, based on the werewolves. And the most recent quote I read about it was from Taika saying basically, "Yeah, I feel every few years we keep pretending we're working on this and we don't really get to it. We still plan to, we just had so much on the plate and we just keep telling people we're doing it, but we don't know when and maybe someday."
Well, they have the concepts of a plan.
Yes.
That's right.
They'll get to it.
Oh, man.
And it's also interesting the New Zealand the New Zealand documentary board that they have as part of the opening credits
Yes.
is a real company, but it's a real company that produces comedy films.
Oh, jeez.
I love that.
When I first started watching it, I thought I might be watching the wrong thing. Did anybody else have that happen? I'm like, wait, what am I?
I got all the way through it, and I was hoping that I had watched the right movie.
Did everyone stick around for the post-credit scene?
Yep. And
I know. I missed it.
Oh, I didn't see this movie. I totally forgot. I don't remember anything that happened in this movie.
Yes, there were scenes all through the credits.
Now,
at the very end as well.
Yeah, I always, to me, if you do scenes during the credits, it's doing a disservice to the people you're showing their credits, because no one's looking at the credits now; they're looking at the scene.
But it keeps people there at least.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
true.
maybe don't run credits. Like, do the scene and then bring some credits up. Then do the scene and bring some credit. When you do them off to the side, there are credits rolling. You're not seeing any of those people that are getting
You're
credit.
gonna be like, oh look, there's Tom.
You're not- but you
Johnson
can't-
was the best boy.
But you can't see that.
Are you
How
really?
about what Pixar does, where they run like little tiny, like just sort of like pictures that scroll up with the credits?
That gets your attention to the credits. I mean, the people don't make that much money that work on a movie. Why not? They sit there. They want their mom to see their name in the credits.
I think their mom is probably looking for it.
Oh, I forget to lock it. Yeah. That's about as long as I can wear it.
Oh man.
And it was very sweet at the end, actually.
Yes, gets together with his long lost love.
Yes. People say, that people look at us with the age difference, a 92-year-old woman and a guy 4 times her age.
Oh man.
So I guess
So what I read too was that they did write a script. They'd write like 150, 170 pages, something like that. But they didn't show any of the actors the script. They would just describe them for each scene, sort of what the basic idea of the scene was and how it started and how it ended. And then they just let them improvise. And that's pretty much from what I read too, how they work on the TV series. They carried that forth. And the guy who plays the familiar on the TV series said, yeah, there was one scene where it was like a 30-second scene. They filmed for 22 solid minutes because it was just playing so well, and they were doing so many great lines.
Oh,
And then, of
my
course,
God.
edited that way down. But yeah,
That's so much editing, though.
it is. But when you have great improv actors, I mean, that's what Christopher Guest did with all of his mockumentaries. He would film hundreds of hours of footage, and then edit it down to an hour-and-a-half movie.
Goodness.
That
That'll be a
sounds
nightmare to edit.
Yeah, that does not sound like fun.
Yeah, the editors in the group are like, "Oh no!"
No. The same with the director going, show me A, 30 minutes later, okay, let's go through B.
Oh man.
I mean, that's how they made Raging Bull, though. So
The Beast. Don't forget the Beast.
I had called that in my head. I was like, it's probably going to be a woman.
Well, I love the drawing of the
Set the
beast
man.
first. When you see the
Yes.
drawing, it's got like a penis
Yes.
in the middle of its chest, and then it's her.
Yes.
Yeah, speaking of editing a bunch of crazy material and getting it narrowed down,
Shame.
boy did Scott do a great job on the comedy special available at
Oh my God.
I don't know how he got it from 2 hours and 12 minutes to 38 solid minutes. Sorry.
well,
just sped it
we expanded it from the 4 minutes that Dan wanted to show.
Yeah.
On that note, Rebecca loves this movie. But do you love Dan's comedy special?
Oh, maybe
The
she
real
hasn't seen it.
At least 25,000 people do.
And then some. So yeah, I'm curious what Adam would think of this. I don't see any comments from Adam yet, but
Well, I know he had commented because I mentioned sometime I think last year that I was considering picking this, and he did mention in chat, "Oh, I love what they do in the what we do in the shadows."
Yeah.
So I know he likes it.
Yeah, I don't know. Adam has not made an appearance tonight. He might
it's
not. Ooh.
similar to it's like Spinal Tap for vampires.
Yeah, well, it's like and then I would argue that something that Wellington Paranormal is sort of like Brooklyn Nine-Nine meets What They Do in the Shadows, because it's all the cops back at the precinct, but then they're going out on some weird thing that's happened somewhere, and they have to go investigate. And I only watched the first episode, but it was some girl who was possessed, and the demon keeps hopping from person to person, which has them utterly clueless. Like, oh, he seems better now. Okay, well, we'll just write this up and leave. Meanwhile, the husband's looking confused, but now the wife has her head spinning around and is flying out the door, and they just don't even notice.
I feel like we've seen there's so many mockumentaries.
It did get out of hand for a while.
Yeah.
But it's harder to do a mockumentary great right now because it's just been done so
death.
Well, the Office being such a huge hit, and then Parks and Rec following up on that, it really just sort of became almost like a lazy way to make a sitcom. Now you can still do them well, but if you're just sort of, and I think some of the reason that some of Christopher Guest's connect more than others is the ones that are more relatable. I mean, the funny thing about this is about What We Do in the Shadows isn't that they're vampires; it's the banality of their day-to-day life. That's where most of the humor comes from. Is sitting around the table going, you haven't washed the dishes in 5 years. I mean, this is and the job chart
sweeping,
the homemade job chart on the wall that he's rotating.
I have a feeling that we're probably going to swing back to just a huge amount of budget in TV shows. I mean, we kind of already are doing that with HBO and a lot of the stuff they put out. And it's so weird because we're also around this point where Dan and I were talking about this. Like, there's word going around that independent TV might be the thing that pops the industry back up again. And how much time and money are they going to be able to put into their look if they're trying to do their pilots on a budget?
If you look at filmmaking, let's face it. I mean, the studios have gotten so calcified into just sequel, remake.
Yeah.
That the independents are doing all the interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
They're doing remakes of the independent stuff. So what's going on there?
They are in many cases. Although that goes way back. I mean, Little Shop of Horrors was a remake of the original movie. Well, it was a movie version of the stage show that was based on the original independent film. So it's and then you have ones like The Producers where you have a movie made into a stage show that they then make into a movie.
About a stage
And
show.
now it's I'm surprised they didn't do The Producers too. It just sounds like something that they would do. How'd they get out of jail? And then they have to do the Vietnam musical. Saigon.
How I miss Saigon.
She's gone, Saigon. She's gone. Sorry, Eric.
Did anybody else watch the short?
You've been super quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I
Tell us
don't know
your
much.
thoughts.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a fan of Flight of the Conchords, and I'd seen a few episodes of the TV series and knew I liked that. So, I mean,
Cool.
not a lot, it was just fun. Yeah.
Did anybody else watch the short?
I have not.
I did not.
Not yet. No.
Because it is sort of similar. I don't know if you remember when John Hader made Napoleon Dynamite. He had made a short before that sort of like, well, and for that matter, Spinal Tap. They made a short before they made Spinal Tap to sell it to the studios. This was made 9 years before the movie came out, and a lot of the jokes carry straight in. I mean, it's what's weird though if you watch the short, because it was 2005. How young Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement are. It's like, wow, because they were probably just out of college at that point.
Oh wow. Well, if it was 9 years before, that would be 2005.
2005, yeah.
Right, jeez.
Yeah.
That's almost 20 years ago. Holy crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had knees then.
I had nieces.
Yeah.
Still
I had
do.
needs.
I had hair.
I did too. Yeah,
2005, no, not much.
I had way more. I had a back.
He had so much to give. What happened? His back gave out.
I also
It
it makes
did,
sense when you think about it, but they were saying that each of the four main vampires, well, five main vampires if you count Nick, they were all based on a famous movie vampire or movie, you know, because obviously Pieter was Nosferatu, that was clear. The one was based on Interview with a Vampire. One was based on Gary Oldman's Dracula.
Yeah.
Nick was based on Twilight. Deacon was based on The Lost Boys.
It's just so easy.
Yeah.
Wait, which one was Interview with the Vampire?
That would be Vlad, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Probably.
It's been a while. That's why I can't figure it out.
You know, it's sort of like how zombies, you have your sort of Romero zombies, and you have your sort of different schools of zombie thought over the years. The same is certainly even more true of vampires, where you have the sort of romantic stylized, you know, then you get the teen angst of the Twilight vampires.
I thought Nick
Classic
really-
Nosferatu.
I thought Nick added a lot of flavor to the,
Yeah.
you know.
He's going around. He's like, I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. I'm a.
And I like how jealous Nick is getting. He's copying my look.
Oh, use a front door. He goes, I can fly.
Oh, we didn't mention it yet. The bat fight. That was
Oh my god.
just so good. I
Well,
was laughing.
when they're arguing over the chores and they just randomly start hissing at each other and rise up into the air.
Yes, the flying effects were really something.
Oh man.
Or what was clearly the spinning rooms when they would
Oh yes, that was good.
in the spinning rooms, so that they could walk around the walls. You know.
And then yeah, him telling, well, I'm a vampire hunter. Oh yeah, right. You know, the guy breaks into their house.
That was not cool. Oh man.
I was still laughing my butt off though when he was like on fire and stuff. Oh,
Oh
I'm sorry. I was. It was great.
Wow.
man.
Dark.
Brian, I wish people would laugh when someone got lit on fire. So good on you.
Well, and there's a funny story
Oh.
around that. They filmed a funeral scene with his skeletal remains, where they sent it out into the water, and it got away from them.
Oh gee.
And they were afraid it looked too realistic, so they actually put out a press release saying, if a charred body washes up on the shores, don't panic.
Oh no.
And then when Stu comes back with the werewolves at the end, you know, it's like, oh, once you get over the smell.
Oh, man.
I just enjoy it. Just a fun movie. I thought it was
Yeah.
a good. I was originally going to do an election-based movie, even though I was going to do a comedy. I just thought, nah, let's forget the election. Let's just do Halloween.
Well, Dave, is this as good a time as ever to recommend the TV show?
Yep.
What do you think of the TV show, Dave? That was the lead.
I've only watched. I didn't remember that I'd watched any of it.
Oh,
Because I remembered watching the movie and really liking it, but I didn't remember watching the TV show. But I know I watched at least a few episodes because I remembered the energy vampire. And he obviously is new to the TV show. And I don't remember how many episodes I watched. I watched at least a few. And I rewatched the first episode of the TV series just to refamiliarize myself with it. And it's very good. Even though it's new characters and it takes place in the US instead of New Zealand, and there's a lot of differences, the feel is very similar.
yeah. I think that the cinematography actually gets a bit better, which is kind of weird because it's just kind of walking around. But something about just the lenses they were using, it kind of dropped that sort of thing that happened in season 1 in The Office, where they were like, clearly using certain kind of film on a budget where everything wasn't super sharp, and then it just got insanely colorful and almost like Beetlejuice-ish. Like it's really, really pretty.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking over Jermaine Clement's acting roles, and he's done an amazing amount of animated stuff. I forgot how much he's done. He was in Rio and Rio 2. He was in the Batman movie. He was also Muppets Most Wanted, which was not an animated movie, but he was in that. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was also in the Sci-Fi had a series that was on a DC property, which is gonna not come to me. That's gonna bother me. Legion. Legion. If you ever saw Legion, he's amazing in that show. If you ever watch Legion.
He also wrote and directed a few of the episodes of the first couple of seasons of the TV show and made a cameo on it.
Oh, wow.
One of my friends was Magneto's daughter in that show, I think. Emma Dumont.
He's also done an amazing amount of TV voiceover work too. He's on The Simpsons and Rick and Morty and the regular show and Milo Murphy's Law. Basically, if anybody was doing TV, he seemed to have been involved.
He's Mr. Television.
Yes, he's also in a new series called Time Bandits, and his character's name is Pure Evil.
Well,
Wait, is
the
that
movie
based off
did
the
so
movie
well,
Time
they had to make a
Bandits?
TV
I have
show.
no idea. It looks like it. It's on Apple. It's coming to Apple TV Plus. Actually, no, it's already on Apple TV Plus.
Sean Connery as King Solomon.
There's a family friend who he has on more than one occasion mentioned that Time Bandits is the worst movie he has ever seen and doesn't know how anyone could enjoy that movie.
No, the
It
Black
sounds like
Hole is
something
the
Adam
worst
would
movie
say about
ever.
that movie, honestly.
I'll wait till Adam sees my pick for next week.
Time Bandits, is that the one?
It's
Actually,
Terry Gilliam, right?
I'm trying
It
to
was one
remember.
of the Pythons.
Was there like a wall like opens up or something? No,
It's
maybe
it's very
yes?
bizarre.
It's the
Yeah.
one where the parents touch the thing at the end and something happens to them.
Yeah, this is Time Bandits, the TV series.
Right.
Was created by Jermaine Clemens, Taika Waititi, and Leon Morris, based on characters from the film. Premiered July 24th of this year, canceled after one season.
Yeah, but streaming services cancel shows so quickly these days.
True.
Well, sometimes before they even release them, or
Sometimes they don't release them.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just need a tax write-off, so you go
Yeah.
after the Batwoman movie.
But apparently Clement and Waititi were college friends. I mean, that's how they met, and,
Oh, wow.
and they've had a working relationship ever since.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Of course, Waititi hit it big with his Thor.
Yes.
With Ragnarok brought him to a lot of people's attention.
Pretty much he could do whatever he wanted to with Ragnarok until he did Love and Thunder. And then that was a good run.
No one's invincible.
Clearly not.
Sooner or later.
Don't forget
you have to
his
work
part
with
in Free Guy.
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
As the evil game studio owner.
I like
Yes.
it, you know.
He could
Way
play.
to call out the evil video game industry, movie industry.
He could play Robert Downey Jr.'s brother if he wanted to. He's got a similar face. And so does skinny Kevin Smith.
Well, one of the opening lines in the short when they're interviewing Jermaine Clement's character is he was saying, yes, a lot of people say I look like Jeff Goldblum.
I see that.
Uses words. He emphasizes certain words.
With words?
And the odd way he speaks.
And then he'll be quoting something and he won't be able to stop talking because he just knows the entire quote by heart. In fact, he will never just even breathe. He'll just finish up the quote.
I believe it was, yes. I love that quote that he does.
He is Goldblum is one of the most entertaining interviews to watch or to listen to. You listen to him with something like Conan O'Brien or something. He is just so
And
unique.
His hands.
You know what I would watch? I would watch Dan Aykroyd and Jeff Goldblum in a movie together. Because no matter what it's about, they will just make it sound interesting.
Now?
Yeah.
Now?
I think that the math grade level of every high schooler would go up if they had to have Dan Aykroyd, Jeff Goldblum explain it to them. Maybe throw in Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, I haven't seen Dan Aykroyd lately do anything that has enthralled me. The last
wasn't he involved with was he involved in some way with the recent Saturday Night Live movie?
I just saw a picture of him like looking at the set and saying, I think the guy that plays him did meet with him.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much he was actually involved.
I'm interested in seeing that. That looks interesting.
Yeah, that would be a fun.
Was it Live from New York? Is that what it's called? Or what's it?
I thought it's just Saturday night, isn't it?
Yeah,
maybe.
it's not Mr. Saturday Night. But it's
No, that's
Saturday Night.
that's a Billy Crystal movie.
Yeah.
It's a great Billy
Can't
Crystal.
find that anywhere. I really wanted to pick that. But
We'll have to do a movie where you just have to illegally download the movie.
Actually, it's on Amazon Video now, but you have to buy it for $13.
right.
We're going to watch the director's cut of Triumph of the Will.
You'd have to have a viewing party to watch that.
There you go.
Well, I had an idea. So I watched a local. Well, we're still until. Let me know when we're ready to talk about the next two. I don't want to jump the gun.
Let's do it.
Does anybody else have more comments that they want to talk about with what we do in the shadows? Any more?
Well, it sounds like nobody didn't like it, so I'm pleased with that.
No, I
yeah.
think we've got a
Thank
pretty
you.
good consensus here.
I will
If
say
I was to
thank
give
you.
it a rating, it would be a rating.
That's rare
It's
that
a fun-
everybody likes the movie.
Yes. Thumbs up all around. All right, Dan, go ahead. What do you got?
I was just going to say, there's a local film that I watched that is available for rental, but I wonder if I could get the woman who wrote it, stars in it, and produced it to come on and give us like a link, like maybe a Vimeo link that we could all watch it for free, and then we could discuss it, and she would actually come on.
That'd be kind of cool.
Sounds terrifying.
That would be like a different way to do it.
That would
She's got another movie coming out there's a Bainbridge Island Film Festival. Yes, it's called The Biff. I'm like, come on, you got to do a Back to the Future thing with Biff. But I just thought that might. I mean, I'm in like a little filmmakers group with her, and I was going to ask her about it next week at the monthly meetup.
Oh, there you go.
But I mean, if she gives us a free link, then we don't have to pay to rent it.
Yeah.
Everybody can watch it. It's kind of a alternate timeline movie.
Oh, you do like an alternate timeline.
I do.
Yes, you do.
We know that about you, Dan.
And that brings me to my double feature pick.
Yeah, let's do your double feature now. What do you got? What do you got coming up for us?
What do you got?
Well, if you've logged into the sheet,
I already looked at the spreadsheet, so yeah.
I'd left it blank for a while. Just left the year.
You cheater.
Yes, from 2014. We're gonna go with Interstellar.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's available a bunch of places.
Interstellar.
You can rent it, or if you get the free trial, just get a different email address and credit card if you've already done it. Do the 7-day trial on Paramount Plus. You can watch it for free. And then the other one, which I thought we did, and so did Eric, and I checked it, and we didn't, and that is Sleepless in Seattle.
I love this movie.
I have not seen this in so long.
Do you think there's a fan blowing back her hair in that shot?
It's Tom Hanks's breath.
Yes, Tom Hanks.
He's like,
It's the force of Tom Hanks's personality just blowing back her hair.
So is there any tie between these two movies?
I was wondering that.
yes, there's a tie. I saw Sleepless in Seattle at Universal Studios, Los Angeles, when I lived there, at the Universal City Walk, and Interstellar. No, there's no tie. I couldn't come up with
when I first saw it, I didn't think it was Interstellar. I thought it was Inception, and I thought, oh, they're both sleeping movies.
Oh, I should have done Inception.
Oh, shit.
I'll come up with a tie-in by next week. There is some. I'm sure I can find.
Okay, I got it.
My only concern, Dan, is
they are both movies where it's about people communicating by telephone or radio.
my only concern is it's a double feature. We only have a week to watch it, and Interstellar is 2 hours and 49 minutes.
That's why I've never watched it, I think.
Well, you could do the real time challenge.
Now the nice thing is that Sleepless in Seattle is only 145.
Yeah, Sleepless in Seattle was under 2.
Yes,
Yep.
and also a lot of people have already seen these movies, so you could just fast forward through it if you had to. You're not scoring.
Wow.
Yada yada yada, misunderstanding in the Empire State Building, yada yada yada.
Is that how kids are going to act in
like
movie
you? I
theaters?
love you. The end.
Just have some kid walk up to the manager like, I want to be able to fast forward this. It just got really boring.
Are you walking again? Yeah.
Well, the thing with Interstellar that made me think of it was somebody. There was a meme today that somebody posted that the movie came out 10 years ago this week. I think it was 10 years ago. Yeah, it was 2014. So it came out 10 years ago, and the guy that's on the one planet, it's only been like an hour and 12 minutes to him because of the time difference. So
Wow.
if you've seen the movie, you get that reference. If you haven't, well, you will.
Time dilation.
Well, there you go. Well, those are choices. No, those are good choices.
I mean, they don't always have to tie.
Those are
in.
definitely movies.
It's probably better than Eric would have picked.
Hey!
Oh,
Hey, I was very nice with my last double feature.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. But you keep threatening us with certain movies.
it's
Yes,
just
but I
because he
have
doesn't like my
delivered
double
on those
features.
threats. They're not threats; they're promises.
If they were streaming somewhere, you'd follow through.
Maybe, yeah. Well, honestly, everything's out there. Most everything's out there. I'm just being nice. Unlike Dan, I'm not choosing movies that would cost you $4.
You can go to the library.
It's true. Go to the
You can
library.
I bet you could find these at Goodwill and buy them for $1 and then donate them back and you just donated $1 to Goodwill.
Well, I told Eric the movie that I might pick in November is actually on YouTube.
Oh my.
Well, if you have YouTube Premium, this is on YouTube for free. Or if you have YouTube TV,
Ooh.
if you have either of those, you can get this for free.
Well,
If I could find a VHS player, I could watch one of them.
Nice.
I'm going to watch it on Laserdisc.
It's laser.
Sleepless in Seattle the way it was meant to be watched.
I'm going to hear the Mellophone version.
In 480p.
with stretches that have distortion in them where the tape got crinkled.
That's right, exactly. Because we kept rewinding when Meg Ryan was on the couch with Rosie O'Donnell. I have no You'd be rewinding that.
And my It's actually the VHS that had my mom's wedding on it. So we start off in the chapel, and then eventually it gets right back to.
Nice. You recorded over Sleepless in Seattle?
How did Deborah not break up with Ray when he recorded the Super Bowl over the wedding? I do not know.
Well, if you only have one copy of your wedding video, you're not too smart. Sorry.
I guess that's fair.
Well, back then, you only had,
You could still make copies. You could even take it places and they would make copies for you.
That's
I mean,
true.
And now you can digitize it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or maybe just be taking constant pictures, 24 a second, and then line them up and do the dubbing yourself.
The new EriDan Plus
You
service.
you have like a stack of the pictures in your garage.
This is my wedding.
It's a flip book.
That's the first minute.
Wow.
I knew I shouldn't have filmed in 70 millimeter.
Also an IMAX camera.
All right, let's jump into recommendations, shall we? All right.
It's only in the left. Okay.
What?
That was only in my left ear.
Oh, weird.
I've been
It was
saying
only
that for
black and
months.
Oh,
I didn't
Yeah,
hear
it was
anything.
There we go. Anybody?
Only
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I say my left ear. And then I
But
put
wait,
it back
Dan
on.
and Brian pointed to different ears.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mine might be backwards.
his headphones are on backwards, potentially.
Yeah.
They're sharing.
That's how It's okay.
It's a choice.
Oh, that's such
It
a
is
Brian thing to do.
Because it makes the be on the side instead of the other side.
At least he didn't
All
say
right,
your
folks.
eyes.
What do you got? Anything you want to recommend to anybody?
I can just picture Brian watching a movie where, there's a plane flying across the screen and the sound is panning in the other direction as he's watching.
That's a great movie.
Wait, which way did it go?
Boy, I'm so confused.
Yes.
Wow.
Also, why is everybody on their side?
I do not have a movie to recommend because I have not watched any new movies recently. I have one, though, that has appeared on my radar, so I will just mention it, which is it's a movie on Prime Video called The River.
Ah.
It is a Japanese movie with subtitles, but it is a time travel movie and is sort of it's a comedy fantasy is how it's described on Prime. It seems to have some things in common with Groundhog Day, but it approaches it in a very different way.
Interesting.
So it has me very intrigued, and it's only 87 minutes.
Even better.
Wow. I have not heard of this.
That's cool.
Yes, the summary on Amazon Prime is in Kyoto's traditional Fuyami Inn, waitress Mikoto experiences a puzzling time loop repeatedly summoned by the proprietress.
Of course.
I think it's how Adam feels whenever he sees a foreign movie with subtitles.
The only thing I read about it was that it's a time loop movie, and the guy recommended it strongly, and it's a very short time loop. It's not an entire day like Groundhog Day.
Oh, interesting.
Dan, it's a time travel movie.
Yeah, Dan's going to watch this when we get done.
Yeah, but it's also I don't like reading when I'm watching a movie.
Ah,
Have you seen the
I
technology
love
now they
it.
have where they're dubbing? They can dub a voice and the mouth moves along with it.
I have heard about it. Well, yeah.
well, yeah, like they can actually have the bot analyze what your face is doing, and then they can add in swear words. They can take them out. They can make you say nothing. They can change languages. It's
Yeah,
really,
the
really
language
cool.
thing was always impressive.
I think
I
we used a
wouldn't call
clip from what was that? Good.
I wouldn't call it cool. I'm against. Yeah. Sorry.
It's coming. It's coming whether you like it or not, though.
I will want to fight. That's all.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
when the
having
movie
fake
fall.
actors might not be good, but having, if I could watch a movie that was filmed in Chinese and all the actors are speaking perfect English and there's no lip sync issues, that's kind of cool.
Well, the way
And
I
that
look at
opens
it
up
is
a lot of movies
I
to
don't
other
want-
audiences.
I certainly don't want AI to replace editors, But as a tool that editors can use to do the job more efficiently, it's a great thing.
Yeah, just to be completely transparent, I've been using AI technically since 2016. It just wasn't the branded AI. Kind of like how being a nice person became DEI. Like, just because there's a corporate term on it doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
No. I mean, if you watch something in the language that it was made in, the actor, you can, I don't know how to articulate it. I'm sorry, but you hear the way they act in their voice as well.
And how is that any different from dubbing?
Yeah. Do you watch Miyazaki movies with English subs or?
The English always really sucks.
Not always.
I don't know.
But I will
Christian
say
Bale
that it
as
is.
Batman was pretty good.
This is unlike Dan. I will often prefer to watch a subtitled movie.
Yeah.
As long as I'm willing to devote myself to watching it. I can't. It's something you can't do while you're also scrolling on your phone and answering emails. You have to sit down and watch it. But you do get more expressive-ness and more of the original intent of the dialogue, I think, when you're watching it
but if
subtitled
you're
and
watching your
dubbed.
phone, the subtitles are that big.
We have to watch on a TV.
Yeah.
Eric, I sent the link for what Dan was talking about. It's from a movie Fall. This person they put this AI on there like a year or two ago. It's an old video. It's really, really cool.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not amazing what they can
Eric
do.
has a cat on his head.
I just don't want them to do it. That's all.
Well, keep in mind, the movie
I don't know what you
studios did
mean.
not want VHS tapes. Then they did not. I mean, they have fought against change forever. So, well, it's not that different than the de-aging technology they used in things like the latest Indiana Jones movie.
That's true, too, yeah.
Or the new movie, with Tom Hanks.
I mean,
They're all
the
in same
road is
room.
Home, I think it is, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
the rotoscoping nowadays is very amazing compared to what it used to be. So there's that.
And you know how they made it, Brian? They did it by basically doing everything that people were already doing in After Effects, like outlining everybody and then using their brush tool. And they just said, I'm going to do it automatically when we drag and drop over something. So, is that AI or is it minimizing a process?
It's minimizing a process, yes.
What they call AI now, and I'm going to argue that it isn't, but that's just.
I agree. I agree, though.
Is it's going to affect so many jobs and jobs too.
Yes.
And those who embrace it and use it as a tool to enhance what they can do will thrive. And those who fight it and try to pretend it doesn't exist are going to be left behind. You have to embrace it because it ain't going anywhere.
Let's see, I'm going to say two words: Kodak, Blockbuster.
Yes, that's true. No, I mean it's important that you use it as a tool, but you don't try to replace.
Yeah.
When you replace actors with the AI voice acting kind of stuff, that's just going to ruin things, and I hate it.
What will you get? So if an actor say a Harrison Ford, he would never do it, but let's just use him as an example, sells his likeness to say, yes, you can use my likeness in a movie, computer generated. I've been compensated for it. I'm giving you permission to do it. It's not done behind my back. And it will be disclosed that this is not me. This is an AI recreation of me based on prior digested footage. Right. What would you think of that?
I would feel bad about it, but I understand he still gets money.
Yeah.
I'll go one step further. How about a guy who already died and they're not using his voice?
They did it with
now.
Well, and especially the estate makes an arrangement to use.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Elvis, are we talking?
No, we're talking about Elvis.
Jones.
Yeah, you get a brand new Elvis movie. With Marilyn Monroe and Harrison Ford, and
you get Prince in a hologram on stage.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Who would still be lip syncing less than some current performers, but that's another story.
And then you don't use Tom Hanks as the manager.
Frankie Valli.
I think Brian's all over the Rocco Basilisk experiment. He's just trying to.
I'm going to move back to a recommendation.
Oh yes,
me too.
Just because that's what I like to do is mess things up. My recommendation is actually streaming right now on Amazon Prime, and it's rather the old movie. But if you're looking for something for Halloween, I can't help but recommend Attack of the Killer.
Yes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Currently streaming on Amazon Prime.
With a budget of $20, and they got change back.
One of my favorite movies of all time. 100% amazing. That they also have a movie on Amazon Prime called Attack of the Killer Donuts that has CGI donuts attacking people. But what I love about this movie is that most of the tomatoes are actually tomatoes.
Yes.
Oh man.
It's like Birdemic, but with
Wasn't there a cartoon?
Yes, there are 4 movies. And a whole cartoon series.
But you really only have to watch the first movie.
Yes.
So,
Although if you watch Killer Tomatoes Eat France, which is the 3rd movie, you get to see a very young George Clooney as the lead of the movie.
Also
Wow.
in the movie, I think from the second one on, was Rick Rockwell, a Pittsburgh comedian who was the first reality show. Remember Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
Oh, I remember.
Darva Conger, I think, was her name, and she
That was her
married
name.
Rick Rockwell, who was only
And
a
she-
millionaire because he had some real estate holdings, I think.
Yes, and she, I don't remember if she divorced him immediately or didn't follow through on the didn't actually follow through on the wedding. Basically, it was never consummated, and yeah,
Yeah,
she
But
never
he
thought
was-
she'd win, which is the only reason she competed.
of course. But yeah, so he's Pittsburgh's own Rick Rockwell, I think.
Yeah,
wrote,
the
and he
other ones
played-
are not
He played
streaming.
Lance Boyle, I believe, was his character's name.
Yeah, the
Wow.
other ones aren't streaming, but this one is. If you haven't seen it, or if you just want to go back, it's there in all its glorious.
What did I see on Thursday?
Fabulous.
Oh, on Thursday, I saw 2 movies at the Symphony. We got Bride of Frankenstein and Young Frankenstein.
Oh, what a
people
great
who
double
are-
feature!
Yeah, people who are
Elsa
against,
Lanchester at her finest.
totally. People who are against like old movies, like I would say that the first Frankenstein is very atmospheric and gothic and terrifying, but Bride of Frankenstein, it just enjoys itself so much. It's a 90-year-old movie. The effects are hilarious.
Well,
It's
when Madeline
really
Kahn
overdramatic.
is doing her hair in Young Frankenstein and with the
Yeah.
white streaks,
covering it up like you wouldn't have thought. No, Young Frankenstein is just one of those movies that is not going to age poorly because they have hardly any.
it is
Poorly aged
one of
jokes.
the perfect. It may be Mel Brooks's finest movie. It's certainly one of his top few.
100%. No, so if you have not seen that yet and you're not afraid of black and white, I would definitely recommend Young Frankenstein.
We did that as a movie, did we not?
Yes, we did that.
Yeah.
We did that as part of the film festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about black and white horror movies. I had logged it in my brain. I wanted to bring it up. It's not really my recommendation, but I wanted to bring it up and see if anybody had seen it. I think it's called Eyes Without a Face.
The Billy Idol song.
Eyes without a face.
But there is a black and white movie that song is based on.
Huh.
Oh wow!
Yes, it's kind of creepy.
I
remember
thought it
that.
was a sound movie. It's like Eyes Were Out of Phase. Was that what it was?
I remember my sister
Wow.
telling me a story that a guy was sitting beside her when she was at college at Pitt, and he was singing, "How's about a date? Pick you up at 8." And she's like, "Those aren't the words." I go, "He was asking you out, you idiot." And she's correcting him. Eyes without.
Okay, I'll just go.
Nice.
Call her an idiot.
Wow.
Okay. So no
How's
sense of
about
humor.
a
Move
date?
along.
Something that just came out recently, I actually will recommend because I was really wrong about this. The Transformers 1 movie. Like,
I will say, because the trouble with Transformers is Michael Bay ruined that franchise because
Yes.
he's Michael Bay. But the scenes I've seen from it don't look bad.
it is all the animation in that movie is gorgeous. They're not showing you the best shots in the trailer. Like there is a hell heck of a lot of detail and care about the lore that is put into this movie, and also it has a very kind of Obi-Wan and Anakin dynamic between Optimus and Megatron that actually pulls together really well. The music choices are great.
You were the chosen one.
The cast. I mean, you've got Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Keegan-Michael Key, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Fishburne, John Hamm. I mean, it's just
it's actually really good. I'm serious. It is really, really good. It's like up there with like, I'd say Batman and the Mask of the Phantasm for great adaptation to movies. Like it's really quite good. I would totally I recommend that if you grew up watching people play with Transformers.
Or if you grew up playing with Transformers.
Even better.
Right.
Wow.
Let's check it out.
I remember what was it? Beast Wars, the cartoon. Yes.
Yeah. I watched a really crappy show on WB. I think it was Transformers Fight for Cybertron. It was like the we had to keep the Transformers license in Canada, so we're going to keep making this TV show. It was so bad.
And Michael Bay must own a chunk of the franchise now because he is a producer on Transformers 1. He just doesn't direct.
Thank God. No, so much better.
So much better.
It's like Michael Bay is the Vince McMahon to Transformers. Like the product just immediately elevated when he left.
Anybody else? Any recommendations?
I'm still watching Continuum.
Oh, isn't it great?
It's just wonderful. I did not realize it was going to be as good as it is. I love it.
If you ever get to go to Vancouver, Canada, all the buildings, that's where they filmed it all.
Nice.
So we were up there visiting. I'm like, that looks familiar. I'm like, oh, that's what that's from. So it's really cool.
Cool.
It's nice that they, put those buildings up for the show and then left them.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I love when they do that.
It's like the Olympics.
For Gung Ho, they built a gazebo in the middle of Beaver, and it's still there.
That's true.
I was looking for Gung Ho. I was looking for a good immigration movie. No, I'm kidding.
What, Coming to America is too hard to find?
Yeah, no.
Amanda, do you have a recommendation?
I haven't been watching stuff recently. I've just been playing Metaphor ReFantagio for the past 2 weeks. I don't have any other recommendations.
Would you recommend that?
I mean, I would if you're into 80-hour JRPGs and have.
Sure. Why not? I think that's a good recommendation.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone should go play Metaphor ReFantagio on the PS.
I don't know how to spell that.
Yeah, it's a weird name choice. Oh no.
And I've been playing Metroid Prime.
We discussed video games a lot last week when we were talking about GoldenEye, so why not?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, fair. I'll
Nice.
I'll type the name in chat. It's.
I've been playing a knockoff version of Yahtzee called Yazzie on my phone. That's been
There's
fun.
no T?
No T, just Yazy, Yazzie.
For people who misspelled Yahtzee on the App Store.
Yeah.
So we're only a few weeks away from about a month away now from starting our holiday movies.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Oh yes.
So that gives you time to start thinking about
Very quickly.
what you'd want to have as a holiday movie.
Oh, I think I know.
Oh my. I don't even know. Oh no, I know.
I just watch the same ones every year.
Well, if
That's
they're
why
ones
they
we
call it
haven't
a
watched
holiday
for
movie.
the film festival, bring them up.
We might have too many to do double features on this.
Are you saying, Brian, we watch them religiously?
Or we can allow rewatching of ones we've watched prior.
There are so many holiday
There's
movies
plenty
out
of
there.
them.
There are. True.
There's no reason to go back and rewatch something we've already watched.
But double features?
Yes.
All right.
But keep in mind, the double features are different people. It's not the same person picking both movies.
Well, I know. It's still double.
It's 10 movies. It's 10 movies in the course of a month.
I feel like
okay.
I feel like I have to pick a good movie this time because everyone hated that I picked some bad movies last time I did a double feature.
I don't think you did. I don't think you picked bad movies
last
time.
Christmas though. You picked that one that was like really. I really liked it. What was that?
Oh, the World War I movie, Yolks Noel.
Yeah, that was good.
I enjoyed The Innocent, Scott. I did.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it was. That's pretty good. Yeah.
That's one.
The other one I didn't watch because I seen it a long time ago.
Okay.
That's fair.
It's sometimes Stephen King, though. I don't know.
I will pick something that is at least entertaining to watch if it's not good. I promise.
I'm definitely not picking a good one for the holidays. I was between one and Year Without a Santa Claus last year, and Year Without a Santa Claus was the good one.
Year Without a Santa Claus is great.
Yes, agreed.
Great music.
I probably will choose a crappy, like, just romance one that's just horrible and everybody hates it.
Holiday in Handcuffs.
There you go.
I love the romance. I picked Sleepless in Seattle, so
There you go.
Oh man, you're not.
Of course I am. Yeah, it's,
Oh,
it's the one I was
no,
between
no.
like, last year with the.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it that you joined it.
I adore
Oh,
this movie.
no,
I
no.
don't care.
You're mean. You're so mean.
That's awesome. I love it. That's
It's
fantastic.
only 45 minutes. You'll survive.
Brian didn't like it.
There you go. It's already filling up. So there you go. So yes, feel free to populate the spreadsheet if you're in the know. If you're not in the know, just be here next week, ready to talk about Interstellar and Sleepless in Seattle.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, all right.
I tried to hit the chat button and then I hit the wrong button.
Or as they call it in
I thought you, as soon as Amanda put up her movie pick, you just immediately left out of.
No, I was trying to figure out what was it.
All of the other reindeer.
I don't know that one.
still have to call him names.
Don't want to.
So good. It's so dumb.
If you've not had enough Drew Barrymore in your life, this is the show to watch.
Well, like old Drew Barrymore or new Drew Barrymore?
Animated voiceover Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
1999.
Don't mind
Drew
that.
Barrymore.
It can't be worse than the animated Mariah Carey special for Christmas.
It's right up there with the animated Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer as
To be
far as
fair,
low
all
quality.
of the other reindeer is better quality than Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
All
All of the other reindeer actually has like more of a reasonable plot. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer just has the song "Grandpa's Gonna Sue the Pants Off of Santa," which I love, but it's so dumb.
Wow.
Two,
See what I mean,
Two
Dan? We're never
movies.
going to run out of movies. We're
You're
going to
right. You're right.
And as Amanda has already done, feel free to pick TV specials and things
Yeah.
like that too.
Yeah.
You don't have to have them all be movies.
Yeah.
Christmas TV specials, but how many of them are actually like notoriously bad?
There's some. I mean, you could do Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You could do.
I mean, Year Without a Santa Claus was basically that when I picked that last year. And that was
Yeah.
like a 45
And
minutes.
when I picked the Pee Wee Christmas special, that was basically that.
You don't have to find a bad movie, Scott.
Oh,
he
don't
will.
worry. They live here. They never go away.
It's not a tumor.
That's true.
I have at least two movies on my mind that are technically and executed much worse than
Well,
the Star Wars.
Luckily, we've already done Jingle All the Way. So
But I think I need to find a diamond in the rough or a rough in the diamond, something like
Oh
that.
my.
We'll see.
All right.
I'll be careful.
But we have a month to worry about that.
yes, we do.
Now you
Next
just
week
gotta
we have a
figure out
double
what you're
feature.
watching. You only have to worry about where you're going to fit 5 hours of movies in before next Monday. All right. Enjoy your double feature. We will see you back here.
Also the Steelers are on Monday Night Football right now. If you want to,
Yes, they are.
Check
Don't
that
give
out.
anything away.
I won't.
I don't even know. All right, cool. All right. See you, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.